What's up, you guys? My name's Mike Dean, and thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel, Mad Fitness. Today, I'd like to share with you guys my Sunday stretching routine. Stretching is something that I love to do throughout the week, especially on days that I exercise and lift, but also on Sundays when it's my down days and I just like to unwind and hang out with the family. Stretching has many benefits. It's great for flexibility. It's good for range of motion in the joints. It helps with posture and improves muscle imbalances. And stretching could also release any type of stress and tension off the body. Most importantly, stretching is also great after a long strenuous exercise. It helps release any stiffness or tension in the muscles to help you from getting injured. So with all that said and done, I invite you guys to stretch out with me. If you're just hanging out, get off that couch and let's go ahead and stretch. Okay, you guys, so we're going to first start off this stretching routine with a standing hands above the head stretch. What you want to do is you want to keep your feet shoulder to hips width apart. You want to bring your arms up by your sides, interlocking your fingers, and face your palms up towards the ceiling. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale as you hold your stretch, and then exhale and lower your arms back down to your sides. So for the next stretch we're going to do is a chest stretch, and what you want to do is you want to keep your feet hips width apart. You want to stand up nice and tall and interlock your hands behind your back. Keep your chest nice and tall, roll your shoulders down and back, and just straighten out your arms. Stick your chest out and just hold and breathe. Okay, for our next stretch we're going to do a tricep stretch. For this stretch, you want to keep your feet shoulder to hips width apart. You want to extend your right arm up towards the ceiling and then bend at the elbow to bring your right palm towards the center of your back. Use your left hand to gently push your elbow down the center of your back, and you just want to try and hold this stretch. Breathe and just try to relax, okay? For some of you, this could be a bit challenging if your muscles are already tight. So to modify this stretch, you could use a towel. So you're going to take your right hand and grab one end of the towel and bring it behind your back. And with your left hand, you're going to place it behind your back and grab the bottom end of the towel. And you want to use that left hand to pull the towel down towards the floor till you feel the stretch. You want to keep your posture nice and tall and hold and breathe. For our next stretch, we're going to do a shoulder stretch. You want to stand up nice and tall with your feet shoulder width apart. You want to grab one arm and place it across your chest, and with your other hand you want to go ahead and assist and support that opposite arm as you help pull your arm across your body. Okay y'all, for this next stretch, what we're going to do is a standing torso rotation. This is more of a dynamic stretch. This is not a stretch you want to hold for 15 to 30 seconds, but you want to at least do 10 to 15 repetitions, twisting at your torso, keeping your hips facing forward. You want to keep your hands up by your sides and keep your core engaged. This is a great stretch for the side obliques. Okay, for this next stretch, it's a standing toe touch. This is a great stretch for the hamstrings. What you want to do is you want to keep your feet together or at least shoulder width apart. You want to bend at the hips and reach for your toes. Now for some of you all, probably won't be able to touch your toes, and that's perfectly okay. I just want you to try your best. Again, everyone is different. Some people are more flexible than others. Some may have tighter muscles than others. But during this stretch, all you want to feel as you slowly reach down for your toes is a nice gentle stretch in the back of your legs. With consistency and practice, I promise you'll get better and become more flexible if that's one of your goals. But be sure with this stretch, you just want to try and relax and always breathe. Okay, so for our next stretch, we're going to get into a deep squat. This is a great stretch to add some flexibility, mobility in your ankles, hips, knees, and lower back. What you're going to do is you're going to get into a nice deep squat position with your feet hips width, maybe even more for some people. Your toes are going to be pointed slightly outwards, and you want to keep your thighs relaxed and resting on your calves. Keep your torso nice and straight. Your weight should be centered over the midfoot to heel. I like to keep my arms in the inside of my knees and just relax. Okay, for this next stretch, we're going to do side lunge glide. This is a great flexibility stretch that helps opens up the hips, stretches out your groin and adductor muscles. The key to this stretch is you want to start off with a nice wide stance, slightly more than hips width apart. You could place your hands on your hips or your thighs, and you're going to slowly exhale as you shift your body weight to one side. Hold for a brief moment and then switch. You could always shift to the opposite side again if you feel like it needs a little bit more attention and a little bit more of a stretch. To do the things you gotta do. So for this next stretch, we're going to do is a butterfly stretch. It's a great stretch for the inner thighs, groin, hip, and knees. You want to start off sitting on the floor with both feet together so that your soles are touching. Your knees are bending on the opposite sides. Sitting up nice and tall, you want to grasp your feet, lean in slightly forward, and draw your knees towards the ground. You want to feel this stretch along the inner thigh and groin area. Okay, the next stretch we're going to do is a lying hamstring stretch. What we want to do is just lay on your back with your legs faced flat on the ground. You want to lift one leg off the ground into a 90-degree angle, interlock your hands below the knee, and gently pull back. You want to hold this stretch for about 15 to 30 seconds and then switch sides. For this next stretch, this is one of my favorite stretches. It helps release tension in the hips and glutes. This is called a figure 4 glute stretch. You want to first lay on the floor with your knees bent and feet flat on the ground. You want to cross one ankle over the opposite thigh. Interlock your fingers around your leg and gently pull towards your body. You should feel this stretch right at your glute muscle of the crossed leg. You want to hold this stretch for 15 to 30 seconds and then switch. Alright, for this next stretch, we're going to do a lying trunk rotation with leg crossover. What we're going to do is we're going to lay on our back with both legs flat on the ground. We're going to bring our arms out and place your palms facing the floor. You're going to bring one leg up 90 degrees and you're going to pull in across your body. You want to turn your head the opposite direction and then hold for 15 to 30 seconds, then switching off to the other side. Okay, for this next stretch, we're going to get into a Cobra stretch. This is a great stretch for the abdominals and strengthen the arms, shoulders, and lower back. You want to start off with lying on your belly with your hands facing forward, flat on the floor, and directly under your shoulders. You want to stretch your legs out behind you as you point your toes. Keep your body as relaxed as possible, and be careful not to try to flex or tighten your glutes for this stretch. You want to take a nice deep breath and exhale slowly as you lift your chest off the ground, drawing your hips towards the floor. Be sure that you don't extend your arms so far that you lift your hips up. Keep your head nice and neutral and just try to relax and breathe. So if this stretch is causing too much pressure on your body, we could modify this stretch into a baby cobra by collapsing onto your forearms, and you'll feel less tension. Hold, stretch, and breathe. For this next stretch, we're going to get into a child pose. This stretch is really great for the shoulders and your back. You want to first go ahead and begin on your hands and knees. Be sure that your wrists are aligned with your shoulders and your knees are aligned with your hips. You want to extend your knees slightly outwards and bring your toes in towards each other. You want to extend your arms slightly in front of you with your fingertips spread out nice and open. You want to slowly sit back with your hips towards your heels, dropping your chest downwards as your arms stay extended out. You want to hold this stretch for 15 to 30 seconds. Breathe and relax. Okay, for our next stretch, we're going to do a downward dog. This is a great stretch for the shoulders, the legs, and also to lengthen your spine. You want to get in a high plank position with your palms flat on the ground, fingers spread open. Your feet should be hips width apart, and you're going to lift your hips up and back, driving your heels towards the ground, and you want to tuck your head in between your biceps. Hold, stretch, and breathe. Okay, so from the downward dog stretch, I'm going to transition into a calf stretch. First, I'm just going to bring my feet closer in towards each other, and then I'm going to lift up my left foot and bring it around my right leg. This will just add some extra tension to your stretch. Again, hold for a couple of seconds and then switch. So for my next stretch, I'm just going to go ahead and transition into a forward pigeon pose. This is a great stretch for the hips and the glutes. Starting on my right side, I'm going to draw my knee in towards my chest, and I'm going to also turn my foot so that the top of my right foot is facing the ground and my right heel is under my left hip. I'm going to straighten out my left leg slightly back and while collapsing down to my forearms, and I'm going to hold this stretch for 15 to 30 seconds and just breathe. It's even harder to comprehend. Alright, so lastly I'm going to finish off my stretching routine with the kneeling shin stretch. This is a great finishing stretch, especially if you have tight shins. For me, I like to do a lot of long distance running, so this stretch really helps me recover properly. And I'm just going to stay in this position for 5 minutes as a nice meditation cool down. Well, that concludes our Sunday stretching routine, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button below. Comment, subscribe if you haven't. Share this video with a friend or family member if you found it beneficial. Till next time, you guys. Thanks for joining me. Peace, mad love, and I'm out.